So just in case you weren't here the last time, I believe this is still in sale. I think you can probably you can order this book.
What's it called?
It's called A Prayer for Spiritual Elevation and Protection. Ibn Arabi, A Prayer for Spiritual Elevation and Protection. You can, the article, there's a short article before the prayer that is helpful. The author of this article is far more interested in the chain of transmission of the dua than anything else, but it's still a helpful article to read. This dua, I don't remember if I said this last time or not, but this dua is known as a Dur al-A'la, or the elevated prayer, or the elevated cycle. The Ibn Arabi's high spiritual state, what he was able to achieve, he attributed a lot of that to repeating this dua several times a day. I mean, some of the reports get a little hard to believe, that like the report it would say that he would repeat it 10,000 times a day, which, I mean, but so it's a kind of dua that you can actually do several times a day, and it does, especially if you reflect on its meanings, it does carry a lot of weight. Okay, so just follow along. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم، اللهم يا حي يا قيوم بك تحصنت فاحمني بحماية وكفاية ووقاية وحقيقة برهان حرز أمان الله، بحقيقة برهان حرز أمان الله وبسم الله، وادخلني يا أول يا آخر مكنون غيب سر دائرة كنز ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله، واسبل علي يا حليم يا ستار كنف ستر حجاب صيانة نجاة، واعتصموا بحبل الله، وابن يا محيط يا قادر علي سور أماني حاطة مجد سرادق وعز عظمة، ذلك من آيات الله، وأعذني يا رقيب يا مجيب، واحرسني في نفسي وديني وأهلي وولدي وداري ومالي بكلاة وإعاذة وإغاثة، وليس بضارهم شيء إلا بإذن الله. وقني يا مانع يا دافع يا بارئ يا رافع بأسمائك وآياتك، بأسمائك وآياتك وكلماتك شر الشيطان والسلطان. فإن ظالم أو جبار بغى علي أخذته غاشية من عذاب الله. ونجني يا مذل يا منتقم من عبيدك الظلمة الظالمين الباغين علي وأعوانهم. فإن هم لي منهم أحد بسوء خذله الله، وختم على سمعه وقلبه وجعل على بصره غشاوة، فمن يهديه من بعد الله. واكفني يا قابض يا قهار خديعة مكرهم، وارددهم عني مذمومين مزغومين مدحورين بتخسير وتغيير وتدمير، فما كان له من فئة ينصرونه من دون الله. وأذقني يا سبوح يا قدوس لذة مناجات، اقبل ولا تخف، إنك من الآمنين في كنف الله. وأذقهم يا ضار يا مميت نكال وبال زوال، فقطع دابر القوم الذين ظلموا والحمد لله. وأمني يا سلام يا مؤمن يا مهيمن يا مؤمن يا مهيمن صولة جولة دولة الأعداء بغاية بداية آية لهم البشرى في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة لا تبديل لكلمات الله. وتوجني يا عظيم يا معز بتاج مهابة كبرياء جلال وجمال سلطان وملكوت بملكوت عز وعظمة، ولا يحزنك قولهم إن العزة لله. والبسني يا جليل يا كبير خلعة إجلال وإكمال وإقبال، فلما رأينه أكبرنه وقطعن أيديهن وقلن حاش لله. والق يا عزيز يا ودود علي محبة منك فتنقاد وتخضع لي بها قلوب عبادك بالمحبة والمعزة والمودة من تعطيف وتلطيف وتأليف يحبونهم كحب الله، والذين آمنوا أشد حبا لله. واظهر علي يا ظاهر يا باطن وآثار أسرار وأنوار، يحبهم ويحبونه، وذلة على المؤمنين عزة على الكافرين، ويجاهدون في سبيل الله ووجه اللهم يا صمد يا نور وجهي بصفاء وجمال وأنس وإشراق، فإن حاجوك فقل أسلمت وجهي لله. وجملني يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام بالفصاحة والبلاغة والبراعة، واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي، برأفة ورحمة ورقة ثم تلين جلودهم وقلوبهم إلى ذكر الله. وقلبني يا شديد البطش يا جبار بسيف الهيبة والعزة والشدة والقوة والمنعة من بأس جبروت عزة، من النصر إلا من عند الله. ودم علي يا باسط يا فتاح بهجة مسرة، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري، بلطائف وعواطف وعوارف ألم نشرح لك صدرك، وبشائر، ويومئذ يفرح المؤمنون بنصر الله. وانزل اللهم يا لطيف يا رؤوف بقلبي الإيمان والإطمئنان والسكينة ليكون من الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله. وافرغ علي يا صبور يا شكور صبر الذين تضرعوا بثبات يقين وتمكين، كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله. واحفظني يا حفيظ يا وكيل من بين يدي ومن خلفي وعن يميني وعن شمالي ومن فوقي ومن تحتي، بوجود وشهود جنود له معقبات من بين يدي ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله. وثبت اللهم يا قائم يا دائم قدمي كما ثبت القائل، وكيف أخاف ما أشركتم ولا تخافون أنكم أشركتم بالله. وانصرني يا نعم المولى ويا نعم النصير على الأعداء، نصر الذي قيل له أتتخذنا هزوا، قال أعوذ بالله. وأيدني يا طالب يا غالب بتأييد نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، المؤيد بتعزيز وتوقير، إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا لتؤمنوا بالله. واكفني يا كافي يا شافي الأدواء والأسواء بعوائد وفوائد. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. وامنن علي يا وهاب يا رزاق بحصول ووصول وقبول وحلول وتدبير وتيسير وتسخير كلوا واشربوا من رزق الله والزمني يا واحد يا أحد بكلمة التوحيد كما ألزمت حبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم حيث قلت له فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله وتولني يا ولي يا علي بالولاية والعناية والرعاية والسلامة بمزيد إيراد وإسعاد وإمداد ذلك من فضل الله واكرمني يا غني يا كريم بالسعادة والسيادة والكرامة والمغفرة كما أكرمت الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله وتب علي يا تواب يا حليم يا رحيم يا تواب يا حليم يا رحيم توبة نصوحا ليكون من الذين إذا فعلوا فاحشة أو ظلموا أنفسهم ذكروا الله فاستغفروا لذنوبهم ومن يغفر الذنوب إلا الله واختم لي يا رحمن يا رحيم بحسن خاتمة الناجين والراجين يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله واسكنني يا سميع يا قريب واسكنني يا سميع يا قريب جنة أعدت للمتقين دعواهم فيها سبحانك اللهم وتحيتهم فيها سلام وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا نافع يا نافع يا نافع يا الله يا دافع يا دافع يا دافع يا الله يا رحمن يا رحمن يا رحمن يا الله يا رحيم يا رحيم يا رحيم يا الله أسألك بحرمة هذه الأسماء والآيات والكلمات سلطانا نصيرا ورزقا كثيرا وقلبا قريرا وعلما غزيرا وعملا بريرا وقبرا منيرا وحسابا يسيرا وملكا في الفردوس كبيرا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم الدين والحمد لله رب العالمين. You know, one of the greatest blessings that Allah could possibly bestow on any human beings is the gift that Allah gave those who can read Allah's revelation in Arabic. Of course, the vast majority of Arabs spit in the face of this gift. They completely waste it. And just back to the question of maintaining spirituality, the ability to recite this dua in Arabic is in itself, because as you can tell, every verse of this dua refers to a Quranic verse. It's the most powerful dua, and that's to do dua through the Quran. If you can recite it in Arabic, or you can memorize it in Arabic, or uh, just reciting this dua on a daily basis will give you a power that you cannot, will give you a power of faith and a power of understanding of your relationship with Allah that that only remains an abstraction and a theory until you actually walk that path. And I, just from having read the translation, I'm boggled by anyone who has been given the gift of being able to recite this dua in, like the Quran, in the original language itself, but voiced it. And because I know that those who can't do the Arabic feel like there's a huge gaping hole. Since this is the obviously the last time we're going to meet before the end of Ramadan, I want to recite another dua. I don't have a translation for it, so it's just for the power of dua. This is from Rifa'i Wird, one of the tariqas that, like the Naqshbandi tariqa that you might have heard of, among the various Turuq Sufiya. The nicest thing about the Turuq Sufiya is that often each tariqa develops a set of du'as that they repeat. Usually they'll get together and repeat it collectively, because all of them will know it so well that they can repeat it in a single voice. If you're going through the path of Sufi tariqa, which dua you repeat makes a huge difference, and you get into, but that's not how. If you're like me, you so along the path you pick up various du'as from different paths and different ways of doing things, and you repeat them in your khalawat, in your states of isolation, for the power that they have. And one of the du'as that I was looking for it earlier today, and alhamdulillah I did find a copy in my den, which, if you've seen it, is somewhat of a little bit of a miracle. So when that miracle happened and it actually popped out, then I thought, okay, then Allah wants me to recite it tonight. Because otherwise it will take us very long. I'm not going to translate it. I know that Anmar is probably, like saying, Grace is probably saying they're very annoyed that I'm not going to translate it, but here's my apologies. So just enjoy the power that comes from it. Okay. I think I told you last time that Grace is always after me to translate everything. Everything. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك بأني أشهد أنك أنت لا إله إلا أنت، أشهد بأنك لا إله إلا أنت، وأشهد أنك أنت الله الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم إني أسألك بأن لك الحمد لا إله إلا أنت المنان البديع المنان بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك 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 إني كنت من الظالمين الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار الوهاب الرزاق الفتاح العليم القابض الباسط الخافض الرافع المعز المذل السميع البصير الله الله الباعث الشهيد الحق الوكيل الماجد الواحد الصمد القادر المقتدر الله مالك الملك ذو الجلال والإكرام أعوذ بأسمائك وكلماتك يا الله بكلماتك يا الله التامات من شر ما خلقت اللهم أنت ربي لا إله إلا أنت خلقتني وأنا عبدك وأنا على عهدك ووعدك أعوذ بك من شر ما صنعت أبوء لك بنعمتك علي وأبوء بذنبي فاغفر لي يا الله فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت سبحانك سبحانك يا الله وبحمدك أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير ربي أسألك خير ما في هذه الليلة وخير ما بعدها وأعوذ بك من شر هذه الليلة وشر ما بعدها ربي أعوذ بك من الكسل وسوء الكبر ربي أعوذ بك من عذاب النار أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الكسل والهرم وسوء الكبر وفتنة الدنيا وعذاب القبر بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم اللهم بك أصبحنا وأمسينا وبك نحيا ونموت وإليك المصير اللهم فاطر السماوات والأرض عالم الغيب والشهادة رب كل شيء ومليكه أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أعوذ بك من شر نفسي ومن شر الشيطان وشركائه والحمد لله رب العالمين. In case you're interested, this is, those of you, of course, who know the Arabic, this is the thing I was reading it from. I'm just going to pass it on. If I I got it years, about 20 years ago from Egypt. I don't know if it's still around. There was a question about the name of this book, what I showed you last time. It's called Daily Wisdom. Has anyone checked if it's still in print?
Yes, on Amazon.
I got it from Amazon.
Oh, you did?
Prime,
Okay.
yeah.
This is,
Okay.
in case you weren't here last time, this is very useful because it gives you the transliteration. No, it doesn't. It just gives you the English and then the Arabic. It has, I mean, it has most of the basic tasbih that you do in Dhikr. So it's a very useful source, even if you just read the English as your way of doing that. Even if you don't do the Arabic at all. It's still very useful. It's organized, I mean, there's a companion volume to it that's broken down into daily portions. Now, of course, you guys, technology does, I mean, probably, I don't know if anyone uses books anymore. Yeah.
Like a novelty.
But no, it's broken down in days, and if you actually follow the like you actually over the year end up breaking down to that you're doing a portion every day. By next Ramadan, inshallah, then you find yourself in a much better state spiritually. Again, think of Ramadan, if you allowed yourself to atrophy during the year, then the next Ramadan comes, and by the time you lift yourself up you literally lift yourself up, then Ramadan ends, and then you flop back again, and that's why the vast majority of us never move ahead. We just go back in these cycles. Ramadan comes, we lift ourselves up. Ramadan ends, then we slip back, and then until the next Ramadan. That's not the way to do it. If you work throughout the year, then Ramadan comes, then it takes you to another level. And then you're working at a higher level than you did the entire last year. And so Ramadan should be an opportunity to basically move a grade. Like, you go from one grade to the other. The vast majority of Muslims do it in that cyclical way. And so the entire year they're in the swamp, basically. And then Ramadan, by the time, it takes 30 days to even get anywhere if you start from scratch every Ramadan. And then by the time you get anywhere, Ramadan has already ended. And it just, it's not a smart way to do it. We don't do that with our jobs. We don't do that with our school. We don't, everything we expect to move along through a system of grades. And we're very unhappy if we're stuck with the same cyclical thing year after year. Sadly, we don't treat Allah the way within the same logic of fairness and justice that we apply to our own lives. And if you ever want to, justice doesn't have multiple faces. The same notions of justice that would apply to your own self in the way you would like to be treated, a priori you should apply it to Allah. A priori. And Allah deserves much more than that from you. But at the basic, most fundamental level. Okay. So, let's start out with the Fatiha. We'll repeat the Fatiha several times. let's all recite it together. What time is it? Just so.
It's 12:07.
Sorry?
12:07.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله قل هو الله أحد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل أعوذ برب الناس قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. I hope the explanations don't irritate you, but it's an opportunity for us to all gain. Well, if you had a traditional upbringing, one of the things that you learn very young, but you discover that a lot of Muslims, either who grew up in under the shadow of Wahhabi Islam or that grew up in the West, do not hear. One of the biggest sources of blessings in your life, in your family, in all affairs of your existence, is how frequently you say as-salatu was-salam ala Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad is your shafi'ah, is the one who intercedes and will intercede on your behalf in the hereafter. When Allah tells us that Allah wa malaikatu and I gave a khutbah, by the way, about this in the past, that Salah was salam ala Muhammad, Khatamun Nabiyyin, and all the prophets, is elevates the level of barakah in your life. If you are a person that has a great deal of anxiety and stress in your life, try to do the salah and taslim on the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and you'll see the more it is in your second to your nature. So let's repeat Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. So we're just going to do salah wa taslim ala Muhammad, the Prophet. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد. اللهم I want to underscore this because I noticed that so many of our contemporary Muslims don't have forgotten or have never been taught that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ doesn't need your prayer. It's not like Allah is going to add an iota of blessing just because the entire world said Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik. It's you who needs it. You are inviting an honor and inviting barakah into your life because Ali Muhammad are the people of Muhammad, and you are affirming your a barakah. It's in the same way that language has ability to create. The language of salah and taslim on the prophets from Ibrahim to Muhammad, and that's why we say it in prayer, will open levels of barakah in your life. So again, on the issue of how do you maintain your spirituality, if you sit and do salah wa taslim on the Prophet, or you say the salat Ibrahimiyya, Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. If you just say this repeatedly, again and again, for as long as you can go, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll see the effect on your own life and your own aqidah. And your own, I call them the doldrums. So many people become mopey. I can't focus on prayer. I don't know, I don't feel good spiritually. Well, yeah, but what do? Have you tried to do any of the things that the Prophet ﷺ has advised as remedies before you complain about feeling like you're in the doldrums? Like so many, you can hardly encounter any Muslim who doesn't complain about their spiritual state. I mean, that's the most common thing. Your spiritual state is nothing without direct divine intervention. In the same way that no one converts to Islam or reverts or whatever you call it, without divine intervention. In fact, no one's spiritual state is healthy without divine intervention. And Allah has set the rules for Allah to intervene in your life. It's not ala mazaga, it's not according to, your whim, according to whatever you want. It's according to whether you use the language that Allah has set for divine intervention into your life. Salah and Taslim, on especially the Salah Ibrahimiyya, reciting it for periods of time will perform miracles in your spiritual state. Okay, let's do Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik wa astaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhanakallahumma 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 bihamdik nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. 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 سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك 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 اللهم أنت العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد. Let's take a 5-minute break. So remember, no one comes to Islam without divine intervention, and no one elevates within Islam without divine intervention, or even maintains their Islam without divine intervention. If you think you're doing it out of your own will, you're deluded. You need Allah to come in and lift your hand and hold your hand throughout your life, and you can only have that through the venues that Allah has paved for you. Okay, let's take it from there. What will happen once you enter your grave is a truth. And what amazes me is that we live in a day and age of so many things that take us the other way from the path of Allah. But it's a mixed blessing, because we also live in a day and age where technology has gotten to a point where we can capture little glimpses of the other side. These guys, Sharif and Grace, have heard me talk about this a lot, but for those who haven't heard me, the most common EVP, so-called quote-unquote ghost hunters capture EVP. What does it stand for? Electronic voice phenomenon. Is help me. That's the most common EVP capture. Help me. If you, I mean, the remarkable thing is that I sometimes watch these ghost shows, and it blows my mind, because they'll capture growls. And they'll sit there and get very excited that they captured a growl out of thin air. I once watched an episode of Ghost Adventures where there was this Satanist who did a ritual. And
Are we inviting bad vibes into the Dhikr circle?
No, I know all the prayers. Don't worry about that. Yeah, if a demon would come into our I know all the prayers. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch these shows. If I didn't know how to protect myself, I wouldn't watch them. But so this Satanist did this ritual, and I could tell that he's reciting. He's doing the ritual in Aramaic. And I could identify most of the words that he said. And then after he did the ritual, they captured a huge growl on their electronic equipment. And then they got very excited. They captured a huge growl and started high-fiving each other and like, "Oh, so cool, man! It's so cool." You idiots! And reflect on the fact, and reflect on what you've captured. You've captured a huge growl. Who growls? And these are the sounds of demons. That's how demons sound. And this is the wise person realizes that if you confront these demons after you're dead, it's a terrifying world in which the mercy of Allah is missing. There is no place to hide, and it's a nightmare that you cannot wake up from. That's why the most common EVP that all ghost hunters capture from all around the world is help me. If you're wise, what you will want from Allah is that when you die, Allah sends a familiar face, like a loved one that has already passed away, to welcome you to your akhirah. That will be your great. Now, if you have done extra homework, then what you will want is nothing short of the intercession of a malak to welcome you to the akhirah. And when my mother passed away, when we went and saw her body after the taghsil, after she was washed, she looked like as I remember her when she was in her 40s, she صغرت.
Became younger.
Yeah, but she became younger. She looked much younger. And these guys saw her with me, and she was smiling. I mean, all of us looked at her and said, "Oh my God, she's smiling, isn't she?" And it was very clear. And at that point, the sense of loss and sadness evaporated, because when you see that, then alhamdulillah, then she's in good hands. My point is not takhweef, but I have seen enough death in my life to tell you. I've also seen very unblessed people subhanallah, every time I am hospitalized, it's as if Allah is sending it as a reminder, because I enter into a state of tasbih every time. I'm in the same floor that I'm hospitalized in, there will always be someone passing away. And we will always hear them. Poor Grace, of course, who ends up staying in the hospital with me, or coming, she will always hear, and I would not wish, it's terrifying. I mean, when you hear someone dying away and you can tell that this person, from just the aura that surrounds the room, that they were not a good human being, and the fear, the crying, the last one was a woman who do you remember that? Like for the whole entire day she was going, "I want to go home, I want to go home." She kept saying that until she died. And of course, the nurses and all that, they get fed up, and they always get snippy, and this happens because they get tired of it. A wise human being, when Allah says, "Amal li akhiratak," do for your hereafter, that's concretely what it means. It's not theoretical, it's not abstract. You're going to get there. We study in college 12 years, study in school 12 years, then we go to college, then we go possibly to grad school, because we know that older age is going to come and we want jobs, so in other words, we work now for tomorrow. But somehow we have that, and it's like I said yesterday, it's because we don't really believe we're going to die. That's, Allah has, that's the way we are. If you want the height of wisdom, I'm not this is not mine, this has been said from the time of Socrates. The beginning of wisdom is to reflect upon death. In fact, there is no hikmah, there is no wisdom without reflecting upon death. Any human being that doesn't like to think about death is by definition a human being that lacks wisdom, regardless of how smart they are. Okay.
Is it too late to pray for people who say they've lost their religion, or even these people who are saying, help me from beyond?
The fate of a soul only belongs to Allah, and as من ييأس الناس من رحمة الله فقد جرم. Whoever dares to tell people give up on Allah's mercy has committed an offense against Allah. So it is not my place or anyone's place to tell you it's too late. What we can do is to pray for them and never to feel entitled on their behalf, because that's not our right. That's in itself an offense. But to pray that Allah will have mercy on them and to intervene on their behalf and to ease their suffering or alleviate their suffering or remove their suffering, or in the best of circumstance replace their suffering with goodness. And it is always in Allah's hands. And when it comes to, it's in the same way that Allah gave this world to us and said, you are deputies and you are viceroys, you are my agents here. I'm going to give you so much power in this world that you can literally destroy Earth, which is an enormous amount of power. But the other side of this equation is Allah said, now when it comes to the other world, now that's my business. And that's why that's a fundamental difference between sort of postmodern religion, is that postmodern religion feels entitled in this world and in the other world, where they believe, oh, I'm going to heaven. I've heard, well, you're a lawyer, you know that even serial killers will believe that I'm going to heaven. I know where I'm going, and they'll be putting the needle in their arm and saying, "Oh, I'm going to Jesus," and that's an entitled attitude, which is illogical, is philosophically wrong, is very unwise, and is in many ways unethical. We have been given all the power over this world. We can blow it up with nuclear weapons, for God's sake. But we've been given very little power over the next world, except the logic of justice. Beyond the logic of justice is the logic of mercy and grace. And that is where we basically are asking for a handout. We're basically asking for an extra, a benevolence that Allah may grant and may not grant, and we have no right to say, why did you grant or not grant? But we have a right to always be hopeful and to persist in our hope. So if you know anyone that has passed that, always pray for them, always do dua for them, and don't. There are so many people who are just so eager to tell you, no, that's the way it is in the akhirah. Told them, have they died and come back? Have they spoken to Allah? Because unless that has happened, they don't know.
Dr. Abou El Fadl, so you said there is no guidance without divine intervention. So even if a person is not seeking guidance, if Allah wants, He will guide him or her? We can just make dua for them, for Allah to intercede and guide them? Or is it something the individual has to open their heart to receive the guidance?
Allah, when we are praying for someone for hidayah, we would say, Allahumma hdihi. Or when, for instance, a parent prays for their child, Allahumma arzuqni zurriyatan salihah. Allahumma ij'alhum salihin, or may Allah, Allah make them good Muslims, make them what you're really asking for is for Allah to make opportunities available to them. To not, because the worst thing is when no human being, uh, two things uh, just take my word for it for now, because otherwise then we'll enter into a whole one haqqa. But satr, Allah never exposes our sins to the public from the first time. Allah will give us, will conceal our sins once and twice, and it's only when after Allah provides us satr several times, after Allah basically helps us hide our faults from people, and we consistently come back and insist on doing what's wrong, then Allah says, okay, I've intervened on your behalf several times, I've hid your faults from the public eye, now I'll let you suffer the consequences. The same also with Iman. Allah gives us all opportunities, time and time you'll find every human being, they had many opportunities where Allah sent them messages to facilitate their path to Allah. And you will also find that they either took advantage of it and then went back, or that they just ignored it. Now, when we pray Allah for hidayah, what we're really praying is, Allah, please don't give up for my sake, for the sake of my dua, for the sake of my supplications, for the sake of my shafa'ah. Allah, please don't give up on them and continue giving them opportunities. And yes, does Allah do a favor to a child because their parents were pious? Absolutely. Because it is part of being kind to a human being who has walked the path with Allah, is to try to honor them and their children, or to honor the children and their parents. So it could be that the parent is not pious, but the child is pious, and then Allah now that equation where where it becomes absolutely Allah's business, and the assumptions, the presumptions of justice have to kick in, is when your opportunity ends with death. So you may that's where you just have to accept the presumption that now people are going to have to suffer the consequences of their own actions or decisions. But until the point of death, it is have I ever seen a situation where, for the sake of a parent, suddenly the child becomes a muttaqi? No. It's not even because, and that's why Allah points out to us that even prophets had wives that were impious, or had children that were impious, or had parents that were impious. In other words, to tell us, as when Noah, when he tells Allah, my son, and then Allah tells him, well, هذا عمل غير صالح. Please give up on him because his opportunity is up. He's going to die. And in fact, if you continue thinking of it and thinking of it in terms of and I think the message in the story of Noah and her son and his son is directed at us to tell us, yes, you could be a very pious human being, and you could fervently have wished for your child to walk the path, but all you could have done is to ask Allah to provide that child with opportunity after opportunity. But it is ليس استعداء, that Allah, it is not an act of hostility towards you not to bless your child. So, I mean, even some of the most remarkable awliya, you'll find that, so some of the most prominent figures, I once was interested in this, and I would like look up, I discovered that some of I wondered, for instance, why is it that we don't know much about the children of Imam al-Jilani, or we don't know that much about the children of Ibn Arabi, these towering figures. And then I discovered that even someone like Ibn Arabi had a son that walked in his father's path, and has another son who just went completely the other way. Purportedly would get drunk and go chase prostitutes, and it has to do with the child, with their own accountability, their own responsibility, and what opportunities they made use of in their different junctions in their life. I would assume that Ibn Arabi made the same dua for all his children, and made the same attempts to guide them, and so on and so forth. Does that answer the?
Yeah. Not to give up on prayer.
Don't, and you really never know, because a lot of human beings, they don't start noticing the lessons of old until their ego is broken. And their ego is not broken until they run into severe hardships. I mean, that's the sad reality, that Hidayah, as much as we don't want to see our loved ones suffer material hardship. So I've seen in many situations, people do not turn to Allah until they get divorced, until they lose a child, until their health is gone. I mean, and it takes that type of zalzala to, and it's sad, because you don't want them to go through, you don't want them to lose their health before they turn to Allah. You want, and the sad reality is that a lot of times, especially in a society that doesn't celebrate inherited truth, tradition, in other words, is that a lot of times the child, especially children, will not calm down and come to the truth that their parent might have taught until they mature enough to stop rebelling against the parent. It's like they have a chip on their shoulders until they either grow up or the parent dies. or they, you know, their life falls apart. Um, but never give up, never give up on dua, um, because that's really the only weapon that you have.
Thank you.
You guys want to continue?
Sure.
Or still, you know, if you're not used to staying up the entire night, I know that. Are you still have energy? Okay.
It's 1 o'clock right now. Should we set a time that we're going to shoot to finish?
I don't know. What time do you guys want to set?
1:30.
Okay. That's fine, baby. Okay. Let's see what yeah, let's do istighfar. So we're going to say astaghfirullah, al-hayy qayyum wa atubu ilayh. You're asking Allah for forgiveness and you're affirming repentance. And again, we're doing this dhikr because we want Allah's intervention. We're not repeating it time and time because it's dua. The dua you can do by yourself on your own. We're doing it as a group because we want Allah to intervene with us individually. So that's the difference between dhikr and the dua. Okay. What did I say we're going to say? Astaghfirullah al-hayy qayyum wa atubu ilayh. 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 Let's do حسبي الله حسبي الله عليه توكلت حسبي الله عليه توكلت وهو السميع العليم 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 حسبي الله عليه توكلت وهو السميع العليم. Okay, let's do لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد هو على كل شيء قدير. Just do اللهم أجرنا نستغيث بك. This is for all of you who istijara billah, when you ask Allah, basic istijara is like basically begging Allah's help, aid. For everyone that has difficulties, has challenges, has a calamity, has a disaster in their life, istijara billah is something that you should become accustomed to. It is, literally the savior. So Allahumma nastajiru bik, Allahumma nastaghiithu bik wa nastajir, 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 اللهم نستغيث بك ونستجير 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 اللهم نستغيث بك فنستجير فأجرنا يا رب العالمين. أجرنا وانقذنا يا الله، وخذ بأيدينا واعف عنا وارحمنا. I'm going to head the direction of the Qibla, and I'll do a dua again from the Rifa'i. It's a Rifa'i with it, and we'll close with that. Inshallah, may Allah answer that dua for all of us. From the last dhikr, and this I've mentioned enough of the tasbih, that there is no reason that if you guys want to get together and have dhikr nights, there's no reason that you wouldn't be able to do that. There's enough now that you have a good capital of it. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم إني أسألك بمعاقد العز من عرشك وبنتهى الرحمة من كتابك وباسمك العظيم وباسمك الأعلى وبكلماتك التامات التي لا يجاوزهن بر ولا فاجر، وبإشراق وجهك أن تصلي وتسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين، وأن تعطيني رزقا حلالا طيبا يا رب العالمين، يا طالبا غير مطلوب ويا غالبا غير مغلوب، يا واسع المغفرة ويا رازق الثقلين ويا خير الناصرين. اللهم إن كان رزقي في السماء فانزله، وإن كان في الأرض فاخرجه، وإن كان بعيدا فقربه، وإن كان عسيرا فسهله، وإن كان قليلا فكثره، وإن كان قريبا فبارك لي فيه. اللهم اجعل يدي اليد العليا بالإعطاء، ولا تجعل يدي اليد السفلى بالاستعطاء. يا فتاح يا رزاق يا كريم يا عليم. اللهم سخر لي رزقي واعصمني من الحرص والتعب في طلبه، ومن التدبير والحيلة في تحصيله، ومن الشح والبخل بعد حصوله. اللهم تول أمري بذاتك ولا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين، ولا أقل من ذلك يا الله، واصلح لي شأني كله، واهدني إلى صراطك المستقيم، صراط الله الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض، ألا إلى الله تصير الأمور. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبعه بإحسان أجمعين، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منا ومنكم أجمعين يا رب. What's that?
122.
Where did Linda go? To drag that, I actually didn't go over. Proud of myself.